Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and realizing your manhood no longer responds the way it used to. For countless men over 60, the loss of those automatic, powerful morning erections feels like more than a change in the body. It feels like a silent thief stealing confidence, intimacy, and even identity. But here is the shock most men never hear. Your body still has the natural ability to create those strong erections. It's not gone, it's simply waiting to be reawakened. I am Dr. Mohit Khera, a urologist who has spent over 3 decades helping men restore their sexual vitality. I have sat across from thousands of men your age who felt hopeless, ashamed, and convinced that their best years were behind them. And I have watched those same men, with the right guidance, reclaim strength and confidence they thought was lost forever. Here's the paradox. Most men assume erections fade because of age alone, but science shows that's not the full story. Hidden in your own body are 3 overlooked pressure points that directly control blood flow, nerve signals, and muscle support for your manhood. Almost no one talks about them, yet when stimulated correctly, they act like switches that can reignite firmness. That's my promise to you today. No pills, no risky devices, no surgery, just a safe, natural method that takes only minutes a day and can restore the strong, dependable morning erections you thought you'd lost for good. Stay with me, because in just a moment I will reveal exactly where these 3 secret pressure points are, how to use them, and how this simple daily routine can bring back your confidence every single morning. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health tip designed especially for you. And if this topic speaks to you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, and let me know how I can improve these videos for you. Now that you understand why this video matters, let's begin with the first key idea. To bring back strong morning erections after 60, you must first know why they fade. Because once you understand the real reasons behind the decline, the path to restoring them becomes clear. 1. Why morning erections fade after 60. When I sit with my patients, many of them lean forward with a quiet frustration and ask me, "Doctor, why don't I wake up the way I used to?" It's a question filled with both sadness and longing, and I can feel the weight it carries. Morning erections are more than a physical event. They are a symbol of vitality, of youth, of a body that still responds with strength and confidence. When they begin to disappear after 60, it feels deeply personal, almost like a door closing on a part of life that once came so naturally. But the truth I tell my patients is this: the body hasn't forgotten. It simply needs help remembering. Here's what's really happening. Over the years, your blood vessels lose flexibility. Imagine a garden hose that's been left out in the sun for decades. It stiffens. It doesn't carry water as smoothly. That's what age, high blood pressure, or inflammation can do to your circulation. At the same time, the nerves that once sent quick, powerful electrical signals to your penis begin to slow down, almost as if the wires aren't conducting with the same sharpness. Together, weaker blood flow and dulled nerve signals make the morning rise less frequent, less strong, or sometimes absent altogether. But here's the part that most men don't realize. Morning erections are not gone forever. The circuits are still there. The nerves, the muscles, the vascular system, they are waiting to be reawakened. Think of it like a familiar melody you haven't heard in years. The music is still written, the notes are still on the page, but someone has to pick up the instrument and play. And this is where the good news begins. Because while many men think aging means they've lost control, the reality is your own body has built-in switches that can restart the process. In fact, there are 3 secret pressure points you can touch with your own hands that signal your nerves, your blood vessels, and your muscles to work together again. The first one sits in a place you might never expect, right at the very base of your manhood. Let's talk about that now. 2. Pressure point number 1, the base groove. When I first show my patients the location of this point, they often look at me with surprise. They never imagined that something so simple, so close, could hold the power to influence their erections. The base groove, as I call it, is located right where the shaft of your penis meets the pubic area on the underside. If you run your finger gently along that path, you'll feel a small indentation, almost like nature left a hinge there. To the untrained eye, it's just skin and tissue. But beneath the surface lies a hidden hub, where nerves and blood vessels meet like highways converging at a busy intersection. Over the years, I've explained to countless men that this groove is not just another part of the body, it is a gateway. Behind it lies the dorsal nerve of the penis, carrying signals straight to your spinal cord, and tiny blood vessels branching into the erectile chambers. When you press or massage here, you're not simply moving skin, you are waking up dormant pathways, encouraging blood to flow more freely and asking nerves to fire with greater clarity. Many men tell me that when they practice this daily, they begin to notice warmth, a tingling, sometimes even a gentle fullness they haven't felt in years. That moment often brings a smile, a spark of hope, and I can see the shift in their confidence. The way to work this point is gentle yet deliberate. Place your thumb on the groove, support the shaft with your fingers, and make slow, circular motions for about a minute and a half. At first, it may feel subtle, but over time, as sensitivity returns, your body learns to respond more quickly. It's like teaching old wiring to carry current again. Steady, patient, and consistent. This is the first switch, and when activated regularly, it primes the system, preparing your manhood for stronger, more reliable responses. But the truth is, this is only the beginning. Because the next pressure point doesn't just awaken blood flow, it reaches deep into the very muscles that keep an erection hard once it begins. And that, gentlemen, is where things become even more powerful. 3. Pressure point number 2, the perineum. There's a place on a man's body that is so often ignored, yet it holds remarkable influence over his ability to achieve and maintain firmness. I've had patients in their 60s and 70s who, after discovering this point, looked at me almost in disbelief, wondering why no one had ever told them before. This spot is the perineum, that soft stretch of tissue between the scrotum and the anus. To many men, it seems unimportant, maybe even strange to focus on, but I can assure you, it is one of the most powerful areas for sexual health. Right beneath the perineum lies the bulbospongiosus muscle, a key part of your pelvic floor. Think of this muscle as a natural clamp. Its main job is to trap blood inside the penis during an erection, creating the pressure that makes you feel hard and strong. But as men grow older, especially if they've never trained their pelvic floor, this muscle weakens. Without its full strength, blood escapes too quickly, and erections lose their firmness. Pressing on the perineum is like tapping the shoulder of a sleeping guard. It wakes the muscle up, engages it, and reminds it of its vital role. To stimulate this point, sit comfortably or lie back with your knees slightly apart. Place 2 fingers on the perineum and press gently yet firmly. Then, move in slow circles for about 2 to 3 minutes. At first, the sensation may be subtle, maybe just a faint warmth or a light pressure. But with practice, you may notice a pulsing energy, a sense that the area is becoming alive again. Some men even describe feeling a wave of fullness move forward toward their penis, as if circulation is rediscovering old pathways. This point doesn't just help you start an erection, it helps you hold on to it, making your body more dependable. And when you combine this with simple Kegel exercises, the results grow stronger each week. But as impressive as this muscle connection is, there is still one final point left to unlock, and it may be the most sensitive and nerve-rich of them all, the very ridge beneath the head of your manhood. 4. Pressure point number 3, the corona ridge. Over the years, I've seen many men forget just how sensitive and responsive their bodies can be. They tell me they feel numb, disconnected, or that arousal no longer comes as naturally as it once did. And when I introduce them to the third pressure point, they often rediscover sensations they thought were gone forever. This point is the corona ridge, the ring-like edge where the head of the penis meets the shaft. To the touch, it feels like a natural border, but in truth, it's much more than that. It is one of the richest areas of nerve endings anywhere on the male body. These nerves are your messengers, carrying information straight to the spinal cord's erection center. When they fire with clarity, erections happen quickly, and arousal feels spontaneous. But with age, those messages become muffled, almost as if the wires are covered in dust. By stimulating the corona ridge, you are polishing those wires, sharpening their signal, and retraining them to respond as they once did. The method is simple yet powerful. Gently pinch the ridge between your thumb and forefinger, holding for about 5 seconds, then release. Repeat this hold and release rhythm for about a minute. Afterward, shift into slow circular motions around the ridge, letting your fingers glide with just enough pressure to awaken the nerves without overwhelming them. If you do this daily, within weeks, you may notice a heightened sensitivity, a quicker response to arousal, and a stronger connection between mind and body. Some men tell me that even their sense of youthfulness returns when they realize their body still remembers how to respond. What makes this point so unique is that it doesn't just restore firmness, it restores pleasure, the natural joy of intimacy that many men fear they've lost. And when you combine this with the other 2 pressure points, you create a complete routine that addresses blood flow, muscle strength, and nerve response all at once. But how exactly do you put these 3 points together into one simple daily practice? That is where the real transformation begins. 5. The complete routine. Now that you know the 3 secret pressure points, the real magic happens when you bring them together into one smooth daily practice. Over the years, I've guided countless men through this exact sequence, and I've watched the doubt in their eyes slowly turn into hope as they began to feel their bodies respond again. Think of this routine as a gentle conversation with your manhood, reminding it of the pathways it once knew so well. It doesn't take hours, it doesn't require fancy equipment, just your hands, a few minutes, and consistency. Here's how I teach it. Start with the base groove. Place your thumb in that subtle indentation where the shaft meets the body and make slow, circular motions for about 90 seconds. This primes the nerves and blood vessels, like warming up the engine before a drive. Next, move to the perineum. Press firmly with 2 fingers into that soft space beneath the scrotum, working in slow circles for 2 minutes. Here, you're not just pressing tissue, you're activating the pelvic floor muscle, the natural clamp that keeps blood inside your penis when you're hard. Finally, shift your focus to the corona ridge. Begin with the gentle pinch and release, then glide your fingers in circles around the ridge for another 2 minutes. By now, you should feel warmth, maybe tingling, and a sense that your body is remembering what strength feels like. In just 5 to 6 minutes, this routine touches every part of your erection system: blood flow, muscle strength, and nerve sensitivity. Many of my patients tell me that once they made this a daily habit, their mornings started to change. At first, just subtle fullness. Then, after a few weeks, firm, dependable erections that seem to return almost like an old friend. But before you imagine instant results, let me explain what really happens when you begin this practice, the changes you can expect week by week, and how patience leads to lasting transformation. 6. What to expect. One of the first questions I hear from men when I show them this routine is, "Doctor, how soon will I see results?" It's a fair question, and I always answer with honesty. This is not about flipping a magic switch overnight. It's about retraining your body, week by week, to do what it was designed to do. But the beauty is that changes often come sooner than you think. In the first week or 2, most men notice something subtle. Maybe it's a gentle warmth in the mornings, a feeling of fullness that wasn't there before, or just an awareness that circulation in the pelvic area feels more alive. For many, that alone brings a spark of hope, a reminder that the body is not broken, only waiting to be awakened. By weeks 3 and 4, the changes tend to grow stronger. Erections begin to last a little longer, and mornings feel more dependable. I've had men tell me they woke up one morning and felt a firmness they hadn't experienced in years, and the joy in their voices is unforgettable. What I remind my patients is this: progress is not always linear. Some days will feel stronger than others, and that's normal. The important thing is consistency. Each time you press those points, you're strengthening a reflex, sharpening a signal, and building momentum. With patience, the body learns again, and the improvements stack one on top of another. The real transformation happens with time. Beyond a month, those subtle improvements become a new baseline: firmer mornings, greater responsiveness, and renewed confidence. And when you realize your body is capable of change at any age, something inside you shifts. It's not just about erections anymore. It's about reclaiming control over your health and your life. But here's where it gets even more exciting, because while the pressure points are powerful on their own, there are ways to multiply their effects, to amplify the results so your mornings grow stronger and more consistent. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. 7. Amplifying the results. I often tell my patients that the pressure point routine is like planting a seed. It has the potential to grow into something strong and lasting, but only if the environment supports it. Your body is the same way. If you give it the right conditions, the benefits of these exercises multiply, and the results become more reliable, more powerful, and more long-lasting. One of the simplest yet most overlooked factors is hydration. Blood is mostly water, and without enough of it circulating smoothly, your erections cannot reach their full potential. I've seen men improve just by drinking consistently throughout the day, keeping their vessels flexible and their volume steady. It sounds small, but the difference is real. Nutrition is another pillar. Foods rich in nitrates, like beets and leafy greens, boost nitric oxide, which acts like nature's own erection enhancer by widening blood vessels. Omega-3s from fish or walnuts keep those vessels supple, while cutting down on processed foods and sugars helps reduce the inflammation that blocks circulation. Then there's exercise, not just for your heart or your waistline, but for your pelvic floor. Practicing Kegel exercises, those simple squeezes that engage the same muscles you use to stop urination, builds endurance in the very muscles that hold blood inside your penis. Men who add Kegels to their routine often report firmer, longer-lasting erections in just a few weeks. And let's not forget sleep. Morning erections are tied directly to REM sleep, the stage where your body restores itself. Without rest, the entire system struggles, no matter how consistent you are with the pressure points. When all these habits come together, hydration, nutrition, exercise, and rest, your body begins to remember how it was meant to function. The pressure points become more responsive, circulation flows more easily, and sensitivity sharpens. But here's the most important truth I want you to carry with you: you are not powerless. Even after 60, your body is capable of change, growth, and renewal. And in the conclusion, I'll share why embracing these simple steps can mean more than just stronger erections. It can mean reclaiming your confidence, your health, and your life. Conclusion. Gentlemen, we've come full circle. You now understand why morning erections begin to fade after 60 and how time, weaker blood flow, and slower nerves can quietly take away something that once felt automatic. But you've also learned the power hidden in your own body. The base groove that primes your blood vessels and nerves, the perineum that strengthens the very muscle keeping you firm, and the corona ridge that reawakens sensitivity and pleasure. When practiced together as a simple daily routine, these points can retrain your body, rebuild your confidence, and restore mornings you thought were gone forever. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s rediscover not only stronger erections, but also a renewed sense of manhood. And the truth is, it's not just about sex. It's about dignity, vitality, and the belief that age does not define your worth. Pair these techniques with hydration, healthy nutrition, pelvic floor exercise, and rest, and you create the perfect environment for change. You don't have to accept decline as inevitable. With consistency, your body can and will respond. So take these lessons, put them into practice, and give yourself permission to feel alive again. Because your best mornings and your best years can still be ahead of you.